It's this new battle in the culture wars. One Republican is breaking away from her party. Congresswoman Ileana Ros-Lehtinen is speaking out publicly in support of transgender rights, which directly affect her son. I want to bring in Congresswoman Ileana Ros-Lehtinen of Florida and her son, Rodrigo Lehtinen. Thank you both for joining me. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Jake.
Thanks for having us.
So, Congresswoman, you and your family released a public service announcement defending transgender rights. Here's a quick clip.
Every transgender person is part of someone's family and should be treated with compassion and protected from discrimination.
Is this PSA in ways your reaction to North Carolina's controversial bathroom law, which requires transgender individuals to use the bathrooms assigned to the gender on their birth certificate as opposed to how they identify?
Well, that was purely by chance. Actually, we taped these public service announcements about 3 months ago, before all this controversy. But I'm glad it came out at this time, because this is not about bathroom stalls and who goes where. This is about family acceptance. This is about talking to your child about being accepted and loved. And the theme of our message that was done by a group of South Florida named SAVE, it's about family is everything. And we did it, Jake, in Spanish as well, to let people know, talk to your child, and whether your child is gay or lesbian or trans. I know that it's a shock at first, but with communication, that child has got to know that he or she is loved.
Congresswoman, one mother of a transgender child in North Carolina said that the number of phone calls to suicide hotlines for LGBT children has doubled since that bathroom bill, the so-called bathroom bill, passed. What kind of advice do you offer to parents with transgender children, having gone through this experience yourself?
Well, that it's a shock, and it gets some getting used to. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. But as Rigo has told us so many times, and we've read the literature, Jake, 60% of transgender youth are ostracized from their family, not because they want to be, but because their family has literally thrown them out the door. And that leads to a life of isolation and suicide and drug use and gang violence and not being part of a family. Well, this is our social structure for American society, to belong to our family, belong to our community. So I encourage parents to talk to your child, to and love, and you don't want your child to, we were fearful of Rodrigo's safety. You know, all these folks are saying, oh, we're worried about our kids going to bathrooms. No, we were the ones that were worried about Rodrigo having some acts of violence against him because people were not accepting. But people have a kind heart, and we're an accepting society. Change is hard. But I think that together we can prove that we come together as a family, and we come together as a community and a nation.
Rodrigo, what did you say to your mother and father when you decided to tell them your feelings about this, how you truly identified?
Well, I was terrified to tell them. I've been very fortunate that I come from a loving home. My parents were always very clear with my siblings and I that their love was unconditional. And yet our society is so hostile towards transgender people that I was still terrified to tell them. I had packed a bag ready to live outside the home. I didn't know if I would be welcome back. And I think that's heartbreaking. That's not something any parent wants to think about their child having to experience. Thankfully, they did accept me, and we're really here today with SAVE to say that this shouldn't be an uncommon experience. This should be a no-brainer that we love our family no matter what. Family is everything, and that doesn't have to change just because someone is transgender.
Hey, look, Jake, we still might throw him out. He's a bum. And if he doesn't clean up his room, he's out of there. But totally different reasons.
Rodrigo and Congresswoman Ros-Lehtinen, thank you so much for your time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us.